All right, so this is a review and explanation of the live coding assessment that took place on October 12th, and I took it as a home assignment. Let's review the requirements first. So the requirements are to have a button here that increments by the length of the characters of each word. So for example, if I type no and click increment, it should increase to 2. Let's try, give it a shot. Great, so it works. So let's go step by step. How did I start this live coding? Where was my issue? And how did I solve it? Okay, so I started it by, well, another thing, I needed to create a new component. So not making my life difficult, just to answer the assessment, I just created a brand new component that's not related. It's not related to any other component, meaning it's not being rendered by any parent components. Obviously, not including app.js, because app.js is rendering all the components. So I created a component here, increment, that's being rendered through the menu and renders a new component. That's fairly simple. Let's go to inside the component. So line 28, just to check that the component is rendered properly. So I started with the bar that will basically search, basically will give me the output of how many characters each word have. So I'm using handle on change, passing an event that's targeting the value of the user input, and I'm using the length function here just to know the user input, what it is. And then I update in the state that I initially declared 2 states in my class component, one for count, one for words, just an empty string. So I updated the words in the state to user input, and this is dynamic because it's basically upon the value of the event. Meaning, if I type no, it will be 2, and if I type yes, it will be 3. So when the code runs, let's go over it and show what's going on here. So I console log this state words. So every time that, for example, every time that I click something, the state changes. Meaning the component right now updated the state, and it's one of the state. One of the properties of the state. One is count and one is words. By this event, it only fires the on change, so it updates the component states. So we got this. Now we want to increment this. That's how we do this. The increase button is just on click event, and we are using the state set state method, taking the state which is 0 and returning count state words. Remember that the state that words right now is 17. 18. Where was my issue during the assessment itself? I got pretty close. So if I just go backwards, I can show where was my mistake. My mistake was initially to try and access the user input inside the increase button. Obviously, it wouldn't let me. So now let's see that I words this state words land this state handle and change. So obviously it wouldn't let me do this, and I also don't need this, to be honest. I just need the component to be updated to the state of the component will be updated. So this state words length, and I basically took from the React documentation the syntax like this, and just implement this on my increase button. Obviously, I don't even need this. So I just need state returning count state dot words, because the words are updated, and I don't need this one here. And I think it doesn't like a missing clause in parentheses. Yeah. Const log state. This should be, well, let's, you know what, let's do it all over again. So I'm basically need to return a new state. Which takes a new state. And returns a new updated state. So in this case, it would be count state dot words. Okay, I changed here some stuff. Let's see if it should still work. Let's see if it does. So the code runs now and it works.